Hey everyone, my name is Roshan, and my carbon footprint project topic was about eating less meat and no meat at all. And when we go over the video, we'll be discussing these 5 points about my data and describe about objects approach and it's the outcome of the effort of outcomes and explain my thoughts about this and one of the learning outcomes for throughout the course what we learned and let's get starting. And for the data, I had a pictures up here. So this is on 10th of 6th, so October 6th. This is when before I start doing the carbon footprint. I used to spend $85 a week for medium meat eaters, and you could see, and my total, well, for that week will be 2.22 metric tons of carbon emission doing it. And this is a result of having all those in breakdowns, and you could see me having 13.11 metric ton, and it was not as high as the average, but still it's a decent amount of high. But if I go to the last week, after I done the carbon emission, you could see I instead of me doing having less meat, I went with just having vegetables, and I just spend $45 a week and see how it dropped down to 2 point something to 0.85, and you could see it was way lower than 13, so it was 11.0. So it was not a big dramatic change, but still a decent amount of change for carbon emissions. And my objective was to have less consumption of meat or have no meats for the 2 weeks, and to see how my carbon emission footprint will look like. The approach to the footprint was hard to make hard to make the right choice, but it was all right. I deal with it. And for the first few days, my approach to the first few days was so hard. It was because I used to eat a lot of meat, and it was so hard to resist having meat. Then start eating more vegetable, and which we feel like so different not having meat and not having meat in my life. And why I choose to reduce having meat, reduce having red meats, or because food production accounts of around 25% of greenhouse emissions, and that is warming the global. And scientists has long known that meat has larger carbon footprint than fruits and vegetables, particularly because meat require more energy and to produce, but also cows emit a lot of methane to the atmosphere, and that's bad for us. And the outcome of this effort was great because it feel like healthy and well weight management, and by reducing meat consumption and increasing vegetables consumption, and it had a weight control and protect against like health issues like heart disease, and it will reduce a lot of kind of health issues. And eating less meat is favorable. Eating less meat is favorable for the environmental benefit also, because the more meat you have, the more cows eat the grass and the more energy they produce. And my thoughts about this experiment was it's a good experiment because I was able to understand what I'd be able to do for the 2 weeks, because see how my data showed where is it? See how it was used to be 13.11, it dropped down to 11.6, so that was just for 2 weeks. Imagine what you can do for a whole year. That drops down a big amount of changes in there. So my regards to experience, it was a great experience my life. And for the learning outcomes throughout the course, what I did was choose about biodiversity, because biodiversity is the variety of life in the world, and in particular habitat or ecosystem. Well, humans' use of animal source food is one of the most important negative drives influence terrestrial ecosystems. concern and biological diversity. Livestock produce in a single most important case of habitat loss, and both livestock and fed stock produce are expand in emerging total nations which contain the bulk of biological variety. Because if you're trying to have more cows you try and cut down, the less without for biodiversity is like if you don't have one species in one certain biodiversity, that diversity won't succeed itself. And you are asked us to provide supports, and here's my support evidence. Let me pull up that website. So I was saying right here, diet rich in beef and other red meats can be bad for a person's health, because like I say, it was more meats you have, it's bad for your health, and the practice of equal bad of earth biodiversity according to the terms of scientists who has fair human currencies and impacts on land also. The more cow eat, the more food it impacts on land, and the more you try to feed, the more trees you cut down, the less there's less carbons absorbed. And that's all for my project video, and thank you. I hope you guys enjoy and have a great day.